Bienvenidos y bienvenidas a Liverpool Show en español, tu canal para vivir toda la actualidad de Liverpool en tu idioma. Hoy nos visita Callum Sanderson de The Kopish Team, uno de los canales de YouTube de habla inglesa con más seguidores y que está creciendo rápidamente entre la comunidad red. Así que acompáñanos, vamos allá. Hey Cal, how are you? Thanks for coming.
I'm good, thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
Great. Cal, just first question I have to do it. How we raised the idea to create this crazy, informative, and debatable show with Matt and Drifty?
Where do I start? So it's weird how we all came about. So I actually know Matt because we go to the same barbers. And then I know Drifty because we did a show on a channel called Cheeky Sport. So that was the first time I'd ever met Drifty. And I knew they were both Liverpool fans and they were doing their own thing on YouTube at the time. And then we just started to speak more and started to collaborate more. And then from there, we decided to just make it a Liverpool-based channel. And then we sort of haven't looked back and we've been really grateful with all the support we've had. As you guys see, we argue, we laugh, we joke. We're brothers at the end of the day, and we love Liverpool. We're really passionate about Liverpool. So to make the channel and for it to thrive the way it is really a blessing.
Yeah, indeed it is. You just recently reached the 20K subs, which is something amazing, and now you are close to the 21. You're almost in the middle. Yeah, you are growing really fast, and also because of the content is very entertaining to see you guys talking, to see you guys laughing, making jokes, debating, because you and mainly with Drift. In the same conversation, it's very difficult to find a black and white, but you entertain in this way and also provide a lot of information and of course your opinion that is at the end of the day what matters. So we invited Cal today to speak a little bit about our season. This season that has been very difficult, that it's one of the worst season I would say under Jurgen Klopp era, and I want to start, Cal, asking you, in October, starting as a defending champions, now almost out of the top four and fighting to make it to the Europa League, Conference League?
Yeah, it's a really tough one. I'll be honest, going into this season, after signing Thiago and Jota and Tsimikas, I genuinely thought we'd retain the league. I knew it'd be tough. I thought it'd be a lot tougher than last season, but I thought we'd retain it. I thought obviously City had strengthened with Diaz and Ake, so I knew they'd come again and I knew they'd be stronger, and I thought Man United would do better as well. I just thought we had enough. However, I think injuries, bad timing of things, I think Jurgen Klopp's decision making sometimes at points this season has been really bad and left a lot to be desired as well. I think all of those have culminated in where we are now, and I think it's a real shame because I think this was the sort of period where we could have really established ourselves as a top team and gone on to dominate. But I think a lot depends what happens this summer. I think it will be good for the players that they've gone through this because I think it will actually help them mentally. But it's going to be interesting to see how we bounce back because we have to bounce back from this.
Yeah, the signing of Thiago and Jota definitely increased the options that Jurgen Klopp had compared to the last season. So if you need to rank 3 reasons for this, I don't want to say bad performance, but indeed it is bad performance of the team in general, what would it be?
So the top 3 for me, lack of investment in the summer and especially in January from the owners, injuries and decision making from Klopp when we went through a really bad phase.
Okay. And talking about this, because this is quite a usual topic when we speak also in the channel, and when I saw you also debating in your channel, in December, we were leaders. We were at the top of the table, even with Virgil van Dijk injured, even with Fabinho out for a couple of weeks in October or so, even with Henderson out. So what changed really to make that difference from January to now?
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I remember us beating Crystal Palace 7-0 and I was thinking, right, that is it. We are the best in the league. We're going to walk the rest of the season. And then I just remember us playing that Fulham game, and that first half against Fulham, we were really poor, and it was like a yin and yang. We didn't really know what was going on, and we thought maybe that's just a blip. We'll let that go. But then after that, we played Tottenham and we played extremely well. Bobby Firmino got a winner in the dying minutes of that game, and I was thinking, yep, we're back again. I think the thing that really knocked the stuffing out of us was when when Henderson and Fabinho had to play centre back against Manchester United, and then we lost the first of the 6 in a row at Anfield to Burnley. I think that really knocked the stuffing out of us. And then when that happened, we sort of just capitulated. There was no sort of plan B. We just looked really, really poor. And for 6 teams to come to Anfield in a row and beat us is astonishing.
Yeah. Do you think because you haven't listed this in your top 3, that is why I asked. What was the impact of not having fans in Anfield this season?
Yeah, it's big. And I think I'm probably a bit guilty of underplaying just how important the fans are. I just haven't wanted to use it as an excuse because I think everyone's on a level playing field. However, if we are going to be honest, we probably have the best fans in the UK in terms of when they go to games, etc. I say UK, fans travel from across the world to come and watch Liverpool. So I think fans have played a massive issue. I think the fact that we draw a lot of our inspiration from the crowd, and the crowd are brilliant at putting pressure on the opposition players as well. I think we have missed that, but I don't want to use it too much of as an excuse because I think all the teams are level there. However, when you look at history and what Liverpool and was about and the ethos of the club, you see how much the fans bring to the stadium.
And do you think that with this return, because it has been announced already that for the last 2 fixtures of this season, the 10,000 people will return and we will see people at Anfield in our last game. Do you think that will be the first step to change for next season?
Yeah, I think it can be. I think our last home game of the season is at Crystal Palace, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And should we have 10,000 people in that ground, it will sound like there's 60,000 people in there. Those fans will make loads of noise and get really behind the players. And dare I say, if we're not competing for the top 4 position, or dare I say even Europa, and we're subject to the Europa Conference League, or not even the Europa Conference League, I think they'll give the players full backing regardless. And I think that can really help galvanise the players. And hopefully, as you said, the first step to restoring what a fortress Anfield was and making it a ground where teams fear to come.
This is a rare question that I will make, but we have been champions last season, and no opportunity to share this trophy with the people, and no opportunity to make this parade and this big celebration that usually is when Liverpool wins a title. Even more this title. Should we take this title to these 10,000 people at least to see it?
Oh, that is a really tough question. That's a great question, actually. So part of me feels yes, because none of the fans got to see the players with the trophy. However, on the flip side, at the time that would happen, Man City would have already been crowned champions. So it's a tough one. I think there's pros and cons to both. From a purist, I wouldn't necessarily want to, only because I think it diminishes what Manchester City have done this season. I don't think that should be done. They've been brilliant this season and deserve the league. But at the same time, we were robbed of seeing our players lifting the trophy in front of fans. I don't think there should be a parade. I think if we had won the league again this season or come close, then I think there could have been an argument, but not the way we finished in the league and the rest of the competitions. But I think we should use this as a source for inspiration. I think Klopp says, you know what, go out next season, you win the league, and then you go and celebrate with the fans like we should have the last time. So I think you can look at it both ways. Me personally, I wouldn't know.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Next question, and now entering into the next season. Yeah, we will start. We don't know we will start when we will start because we are still fighting for this top 4. Now Manchester United game has been cancelled. Not sure when it will be played. But I need to ask, if we go to Champions League, next season will be a season to fight for the title. Do you see? You just talk about Manchester City. They are super great. I mean, they are doing great football. They are probably will be the contenders. Manchester United is kind of growing now. Chelsea will be a real power next season. Tottenham, we don't know. Arsenal, we don't know. But can we contend for next season?
The short answer is yes, we can. And the reason I say that is because the amount of injuries we've had. I mean, even if you just say, right, Virgil's restored, Gomez is restored, Matip's restored, I think that changes a lot. And Henderson. If you get those four players back, and obviously they're not going to play every single game, but if they can play 80 to 90% of those matches, then we're always going to be in with a chance. The problem is, as you said, Man City, Chelsea, Man United, if they go out and strengthen, we're chasing already. So we need to go out and strengthen and then almost surpass what they've done. I don't know if we're able to do that. So then you've got to draw on other factors and hope that the team's sort of chemistry that they've had before plays in our favour. I mean, we've seen Chelsea this summer go out and spend loads of money previously, and it hasn't really worked out for them, and they're still in a top four race, whereas, in my opinion, they should have been challenging for a league this season. So it's not always about signings, it's about the right signings. But I think with the structure we've got with Klopp and the players there, players like Henderson who will make players feel welcome, etc., I think us signing players is different from other clubs signing players. It's similar with City. City obviously get accused of spending a lot of money, but when you think about it, they've never actually broken a transfer record. They continuously spend around £60 million on players who are great at the time when they buy them, but can still be improved. Whereas you look at a different model, for example, Chelsea will splash a lot of money sometimes just for the sake of it. So I think if we can go out there and have a good summer, then I definitely think we can compete.
Is it Virgil solving this kind of issue, this kind of wrong season? The return of Virgil van Dijk will solve these problems that Liverpool is having, or there are more problems into the squad?
I actually think there's more problems into the squad. I think a lot's been made of his absence and the fact of missing him defensively. I actually think we've missed him from an attacking point of view as well. He chips in with some vital goals and he just causes chaos when he's in the opposition box. And I can't remember the last time we scored a set piece goal or we were really a threat from set pieces. Whereas when Virgil and Matip are in there, they were a constant threat. So I think that's hindered us. Obviously, his leadership at the back would be a massive help as well. But one thing I don't want to do is fully rely on Virgil, because coming back from a knee injury like that is very difficult, and you don't want to put too much pressure on him where his body breaks down. So I think it's vital we get two centre-backs this summer just to kind of ease the strain on Virgil and also just allow him to settle back in at his own pace.
Yeah, and talking about center backs, I will start asking you some questions that probably will be picky, but I mean, I know we need to make a decision. No, well, not me and you. we will
We
comment
wish.
it in our shows.
We wish.
But Edwards and Klopp probably will need to take decisions on the actual squad, because there are players that are, I don't want to say not contributing, but I mean, are not meeting the expectations Klopp had on those, and also obviously the fans. So I want to start with a list. I am not saying should be in or this should be out. I will leave that for you. But asking first, Adrian, in or out?
Out.
Great. Kabak, in or out?
This is the toughest one for me. I like Kabak.
Because you just said two centre backs for the season. So Kabak should be one of those.
It depends on the budget. So I'm really happy if we sign Konate. I've always been a big fan of Konate since I started watching him. Another player I really like though is Pau Torres, for example. Yeah. And Varane obviously seems to be impossible now that we're not going to get the Champions League. But someone of that quality to come in alongside Konate, for me, is something I'd prefer. However, given our transfer restraints, I think you could do a lot worse in getting Kabak. And plus, even though we were touted as being 80, he was touted as being 80 million. I think the rumours are you could get him for a lot cheaper. So if it's Kabak and Konate, then I'm not gonna, go upset and be angry. But in an ideal world, if I could choose, if I had money, it'd be Konate and someone like a Pau Torres, maybe.
Yeah, a little bit more experience, right? Just to contend with Gomez for this position, because we know Virgil is the one there. Okay, and talking on defense and to end with the people there, Matip, in or out?
This is a tough one as well.
It is.
It's weird because Matip, in my opinion, is the second best centre back we have.
Agree.
But the injuries are a killer, and the problem is Gomez is injury prone as well. So him and Matip's injury record is terrible, but Gomez has got the benefit of being younger and he's English. So with a heavy heart, I'd probably say Matip has to go. But if we don't sign Kabak and we keep Matip and we bring in Konate, I could live with that as well.
Okay, yes, one center back and keeping
Yeah.
Matip. Yeah, that will be a good option. Then I need to go to the center half because we have a lot of players there. Probably some of them will be moving. We remember that we have Thiago that just returned and probably will have his first, incredible, but his first training camp or preseason with Klopp, because we remember he arrived late in the market there. So starting with Keita, in or out?
Out, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. Ox, in or out?
Out as well.
Oh, that was hard.
Yeah.
Because we and also the Spanish followers of Liverpool remember that Ox from 17-18 season before he got that injury. That was marvelous, big potential, and then he just dropped. Milner, in or out?
In. I know he's one thing I don't want to see him is playing regularly as he has been this season, though. But I think having him around the younger players, having him around the squad, I think is vital. He is a model professional and a great guy. So I think having that in and around the squad will always be helpful.
Great. And then I have to ask up in the front, Divock Origi, in or out?
Out for me. Drifty's going to kill me, but out.
Drifty is Origi lover. Yeah. But I just saw that he preferred Dejan Lovren above Origi. That's incredible. Exactly, I was watching the show this morning and he said, "What?" Yeah, well, yeah, Drifty will create a debate there. But talking about Origi's leaving, we of course need to speak because we know probably Shaq will also leave. He has already been vocal on that. We need to speak about this front three because they haven't worked or they haven't delivered as expected, except for Mohamed Salah, of course. And then I will ask you a different question, but I need to ask on the front three. Will you keep those three in?
So I would keep Mane. I think Mane deserves another season personally. For me, either has to drop to the number 10 position or he has to be a player who's in rotation now. I don't think he should be an automatic starter for the number 9 position. And I know he wears 9 on his back, but he's never been a 9. And I think we need a striker now, someone whose main focus is to score goals. Like that's what they walk on the pitch to do. And I know Salah does that as well, but having a number 9 to do that would actually, in my opinion, help Salah because it'd be a foil for him.
Yeah. Talking about Bobby Firmino, I mean, I am a big fan, really love him. And I think the worst mistake he made in Liverpool was to take the number 9. I mean, he should have taken the 10 from Coutinho when he left. And that is the reason why he has received so many criticism around his development and in Liverpool. I wanted to ask Carl. We already know, the Liverpool fans know that Liverpool will not sign Mbappe or Kabak. That is not feasible for us. I mean, and everybody talks about that, but I mean, the ones that we have followed this club for years know that even when we had Torres and when we had Suarez, when they arrived, they were not the superstar that Mbappe and Haaland are. So, talking realistically and knowing we need a striker, who will be your top 3 options for that position?
Oh, top 3. So here's the thing. So everyone knows I love Haaland. I love Harry Kane as well. But I don't think Harry Kane's realistic this summer either, unfortunately. I think he should be a realistic target, but he's not. If I'm going to go outside of the 3 of Mbappe, Haaland and Kane, and I think Andre Silva, I think he's someone we should be looking at. His goal return's really good. Plus, he's doing really well for the Portuguese national side, alongside your likes of Jota, for example. I'm trying to think. Daniel Marlon as well from
PSV. Yeah,
PSV. He sort of reminds me of a player who's just sort of in between a winger and a striker. And then the last person I'd say is Memphis Depay.
Yeah, for free. Even more, right?
Would be a great,
yeah, it would be a great deal. And last question. We have a lot of players ending the contracts in 2023. Between them, Salah, Mane, Firmino, Virgil, Fabinho. If you were Edwards and you only can sign 3 new agreements, because all of them are more or less in the same age. It's incredible how this we have arrived to this point. You only can sign 3 new contracts. Which one are these 3 selected?
Oh, that's
because
hard.
I was reviewing that, and I know it's difficult. I know it's difficult because I was reviewing that yesterday at night, and we have like 7 players, important players, ending contracts in 23.
I think. This is tough. So we've got Alisson, Virgil.
We got Alisson, Virgil, Henderson, Fabinho, Mane, Salah, and Firmino.
Oh
7.
my! I could only have 3. Jonathan, you're killing
Only
me,
3.
bro.
Only 3. I mean, you need to consider, man, that they are around 28, 29. Okay, I am not saying they are dead. No way. They have 4 more years. But if they sign a new contract now, probably it will be until they are 34 years. So
I'd go Virgil.
Okay.
I think you've got to go Fabinho.
Okay. There is a difficult.
I'm gonna go Salah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, for the first 2, it makes really sense because Virgil can play. Even being a center back, I mean, until 35, we have Thiago Silva and Chelsea, and Fabinho is 27, so it's more years for him. The other one was the really difficult one. I mean, of course, I will add a 4-1 because I am just cheating right now. I will add a Jordan Henderson because a couple of more years, just to be like a James Milner right now, not to be probably starting 11, but just to be a reference for the youngs that are coming, that are important, and probably we will have the opportunity, if you have the time in the future call, to speak about the young prospects that are in the academy right now. Okay, Carl, thank you very much for dedicating this time to the channel and to participate and want to share your knowledge and your experience with the people in Spanish language speaking that follows Liverpool. It has been a real pleasure. We will have a little bit more things with Carl in the future, but right now it has been all for this. Thank you, Carl. You want to say something to the people?
I just want to say a massive thank you to you guys. Make sure you support this channel. I really love what you're doing. As I said, I'm really honored and pleasured that you invited me, and I really do appreciate the support you give for Kopish as well. So I don't speak any Spanish, but muchas gracias.
Thank you very much, Callum. Muchas gracias, amigos de esos sitios. Recuerdan dejar el like, suscribirse y sobre todo vayan a visitar el canal de The Kopish Team because it's super great. Thank you very much. Talking to you.